guys, today I am back to film my Empties video. Did okay on Empties this month, not a ton of stuff, but I'm okay with that. I do kind of still feel like I have a lot of stuff that's really close to being empty, but I haven't quite finished it yet. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, just grab out of the bag. First thing I grabbed here is the Organics Nourishing Coconut Milk and Hibiscus Body Wash. This was fine. Nothing special, nothing bad about it. I don't think we'll repurchase just for the fact that, like I said, nothing special about it. We actually went through this really quick too, so that's probably the biggest reason I would say I wouldn't repurchase it, is just because of how fast we went through it. But otherwise, the scent is really nice. It is like a nice coconutty, slightly floral scent. It's pretty coconutty though for the most part, but nothing wrong with it. It's just pretty basic. Next is the Herbal Essences Dry Shampoo in Color Me Happy, the Luscious Rose scent. So this started out as a favorite. It was amazing. I loved it. And then towards the end, I just was like, yeah, it's not for me. The big thing I would say is that in the beginning, it started out like a Batiste. It's pretty powdery feeling. It doesn't really have like any hold or any stickiness to it. But then towards the end of this can, which I was always making sure I was shaking it up really well too, so that's kind of why I'm not really sure why this happened. It started to feel like hairspray mixed with dry shampoo. It was kind of sticky and it had like hold to it, which was kind of weird. And it doesn't sound like it'd be a bad thing, but it wasn't. I feel like it just ended up making my hair even more flat, and it kind of would like chunk up a little bit. It was just kind of weird, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not loving this. So I don't think I'm gonna get it again. It was really cheap though. I think it was like $3.99, and they did have like a citrus one too, which kind of sounded good. The scent on this was amazing. Like, I love rose scented things, and this smelled really nice. You can still kind of smell it. I actually really did like it. The scent anyways, but as for a dry shampoo, it was just kind of a dud towards the end. So I'm probably not going to repurchase that. Next up is the Ulta Vanilla Sugar Antibacterial Gentle Foaming Hand Soap. Always repurchase these. I love the foaming hand soaps. I do like the ones with the little like beads in them too, but I find that with a 6-year-old that likes to use soap, the foaming ones are a way better route to go. We don't go through these nearly as fast as we do if I get the scrubby bead ones. He just pumps out a lot of soap, and I feel like you get more for your money with the foaming ones. So definitely repurchase these. I love them. I finished up the Almay Eye Makeup Remover pads. These were like the waterproof long wear ones. I'm not going to get these again just because I have my micellar water now, and I do like that a little bit better. But these are kind of like they're like little round pads, and they almost feel oily, but that's kind of great because it does, like it's a get off long wear and waterproof makeup really easily. The only thing is then you do have to kind of get that oily consistency off of your face after using these. So, I mean, you know, just wash your face, but it kind of threw me for a loop, I guess, the first time I used them, just because I was thrown by the fact that they're kind of oily feeling. So I'm probably not going to repurchase these. They're not bad, and they're really not a bad price, but I just have my micellar water, and I feel like that does just as well. So just to kind of cut down on the amount of products I have, I'm going to stick with my micellar water. I finished up a Japanesque Solid Brush Cleanser. This is like the Gentle Goat Milk Cleansing Balm. I mean, I don't know, not really much to say about this. I've repurchased this a couple times. I am not going to be repurchasing it anymore though, because of how fast I go through it. It's $20 for this, which $20, like, it's not bad. I imagine that's probably pretty close to the price of the Beauty Blender Solid Cleaner is. Probably pretty close in price, but I have got the Dr. Bronner's, like the bar soap, and I've used that for my brushes, and it works so much better. So much better than any brush cleaner I've ever actually used. It cleans them way faster. It doesn't dry them out. The only thing is making sure that, since it is more of a soap and it does foam up a little bit more, is to make sure you really get it out. Because there is like 1 or 2 brushes I didn't get it out very well, so I'm going to have to kind of go back through and re-rinse those, but it did just kind of feel a little, like you can just kind of feel the soap residue a little bit. That's really all it is. So just making sure you really do rinse them out. So I'm not going to repurchase this just because it's too pricey. It does get my brushes pretty clean, but the Dr. Bronner's does so much better. So I'm not going to repurchase that one. We finished up a Bath & Body Works Pocket Back hand sanitizer. This is in Crisp Morning Air. This is one of my favorite scents. They do this one a lot at fall. Well, you know, fall Halloween time. But it really does smell like a nice, like, crisp morning air. It's just got like this like crisp cleanness to it that I really like. I don't know if this is anybody else's favorite. I don't feel like anybody really reached for this one more than I did. So this was definitely my favorite one. Finished up, well, I didn't technically finish up. I took this little Purity along with me to LA, and I used a pretty good amount of it while we were there, but when we got back I just dumped it into my bigger Purity bottle, which is actually really, really close to empty, and probably would have been in this Empties video if I hadn't, you know, dumped this in here, or dumped this in there. But yeah, I love Purity. I will always probably repurchase it. It's like my favorite gentle like makeup remover cleanser, so I will probably always repurchase that. I finished up my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. About time with this thing because this was getting pretty gross towards the end. So I think there is still maybe like a little tiny bit in here, but that's because it was pretty much just all oil at that point. And, you know, I did try to like, you know, mix it up and stuff, but it kind of wasn't really mixing. But this is finished. I will probably repurchase. I'm just kind of iffy right now, I guess, just because I have so many foundations and I'm kind of panning a lot of them. So I'm kind of iffy on whether I will repurchase this one or not. It kind of reminds me of the Too Faced Born This Way, but the Too Faced Born This Way is just a little bit better. It's a little more coverage. I feel like they have, the shade selection I guess is kind of the same. They're not fantastic, but they're not bad. So I don't know, I might repurchase, I might not, but if I do repurchase it, it's going to be a while. Just because I'm panning a ton of other foundations and I'm kind of trying to find out what like my holy grail foundations are that I want to keep. So I do like this one. I just didn't love it here at the end when it wasn't as great as it was when I first got it. So kind of hit or miss on this right now. Another foundation I finished, and you're not really able to tell too much. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish. I was mixing this with my Too Faced Born This Way, and I actually finished it. I could probably scrape some more out of like the bottle, but I don't want to. This foundation to me is just not, I don't know. It started out really, really great, and again, towards the end, I just was like, nope, I don't really like this foundation that much. I had a lot of issues blending it out just on its own. When it's mixed with the Too Faced Born This Way, it was perfect, you know, blending it out, but just on its own, it wasn't blending out very well. The color selection was horrible, so this was super, super pink for me. It's really highly fragranced too, which is something I just, normally it's something that doesn't bother me and I can just deal with, but with this one, I could not deal with it. It was driving me nuts towards the end of how fragranced it was. So I'm not going to repurchase it. It's just in a MAC bottle, so this MAC bottle I'm going to take back to MAC and just be done with that foundation and not get it again. I also finished up my NYX Angel Veil Primer, which I'm kind of sad about this one, but this too was starting to kind of not go bad, but it was starting to change a little bit, and I was like, okay, we need to like just finish this up. I can't wait until NYX is 40% off to get a new one. So I did just finish it. There really wasn't a lot in here, so I used most of it up while we were in LA and then just used it for a few days when we came back and it was finished. It's like a white, it's very similar to the Hourglass Veil Primer if you've ever tried that out. It's really hard to explain. It's like a white, kind of silicone-y, kind of powdery feeling primer. It's really, really weird, but all-time favorite primer. It makes my pores smooth. It keeps me really matte. I love everything about it. The only thing I would say is that maybe it doesn't really have any like benefits to making your makeup last longer. But for me, the thing that makes my makeup actually break down the fastest is my oily skin. So for me, it did seem like it extended my makeup, but I'm wondering if maybe that's just because it keeps me more matte. Anyways, though, it is a good primer. It is probably my holy grail. I have seen some YouTubers that have like a really big, tall tube of this, and I want that, like, because I would probably just use this forever if I had that, but I do kind of switch up primers and try other things, so I suppose it's good that I have a little one. But I'm gonna repurchase this. I just am kind of waiting for NYX to do their 40% off sale that they usually do at Ulta. It's usually in the springtime, and I feel like by now it's normally happened, but it hasn't yet. I've also just kind of been waiting to see if, you know, there's anything else I want, maybe do a buy one get 50% off with it, but I don't know, there just really hasn't been anything, I guess, and there's not a really good reason to pick it up. Next up is the Cheek Keratin Leave-In Conditioner. I really loved this when I first got it. Towards the end I was like, okay, I like it. I think I'm kind of falling out of love with it a little bit though, just because it doesn't have a heat protectant in it, so I do have to spray a separate heat protectant, which is kind of the thing that the It's a 10 kind of has going for them, is they have a heat protectant in it and it's a leave-in conditioner, so I did feel like it might be a little bit more beneficial for me to stick with the It's a 10, or to kind of go back to it, I should say. So I am kind of back to the It's a 10 right now, but you know, if it's not working for me, I will definitely come back to this. We have another Bath & Body Works Pocket Back hand sanitizer. This one is in Cozy Vanilla Cream. This is the one that my son had picked out when we were in the store. I don't know, I think he just kind of liked the packaging, but it smells really good. It's kind of got a little bit of a pumpkin-y scent though, which I did want to say, someone told me that this was previously a pumpkin scent and they just renamed it Cozy Vanilla Cream for this year. But this one was pretty good. I think he mostly used it though. I don't remember using it a ton, so that was kind of more him using that one. Lastly is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. This isn't actually out yet. It's not completely like empty, like I could still definitely use it. But it is starting to kind of change and stuff, and I'm just kind of, you know, not wanting to keep using it. The other thing is too is that this is in the waterproof formula, and it's just not waterproof for me. It, you know, was transferring horribly when I was wearing it in LA. We'd come home at night and I would have black down here and up here from this transferring. So it's just not waterproof in my opinion. So I'm probably not going to get this again. Probably going to stick with some other things that do work a little bit better for me, but this isn't a bad mascara. It's just not my favorite. So, and that is it. That is all my empties. Kind of excited to see what the next couple months bring, especially since I have been really panning a lot of the things in my collection, and trying to kind of get down to some smaller numbers, especially since I've just bought so much stuff lately. I'm trying to kind of cut things back down a little bit into more reasonable numbers, but that is really it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.